Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Alanda. Samantha and I are clinical psychologists, and we're here to talk about change because that's what people come to us for. Sometimes to deal with difficult changes that are happening to them.
Often, though, people come to see us to change somebody for them. Wouldn't that be a great trick? Anyone out there would like to be changed?
Anyone want to be changed? Ah, how about you?
Yeah. The only trick is that Alanda and I get to choose what gets changed about you.
Still keen? No? Okay, thanks for your time.
Did you notice yourself balk at that? Change. It's not often something we like to be done to us, but we're often more than willing to do it to other people.
So another thing I'd like to ask is, have you ever done that? Have you ever tried to change your family and friends? Sam and I certainly have on numerous occasions. And I guess it's not something that you really want to shout out to the world. It feels kind of cringy to admit it. But given that it's often our first response to interpersonal angst, I'm betting that a lot of people here would have given it a shot.
Mm-hmm. Maybe when you've tried to change your family and friends, you've used some tactics, all for their own good, naturally. Maybe they went something like this. Alanda, you're always wearing spotty red dresses.
So?
Well, I thought you just might like try something else for a change.
No, I like my spotty red dresses, and so does my friend Robin. She said so the other day.
Yeah, but a change doesn't hurt, you know.
Actually, I do feel hurt. What's wrong with my red spotty dresses?
Well, they're just a bit meh.
Samantha, how I dress is part of who I am. I'm sorry if my outfits don't live up to your expectations.
Oh, you're always so defensive. Just calm down. Don't worry about it. It's just a dress.
Well, fine, I'll change then. Are you happy now?
You can see from this small example of trying to change someone that neither one of us is happy, and we're already starting to damage the relationship. We also know that these kind of subtle change strategies are at one end of a scale, which at the other end has things like physical and emotional abuse.
If I had to name the most common reason that people collapse in misery onto my therapy couch, I'd have to say it's people rejecting bits of other people and then wanting them changed, preferably immediately. They say, that's not how that person should dress, should speak, should act, should be. And so they get their hands on the person and they start trying to shape and mould them. And even if they meant really well, the next thing that happens is a whole heap of misery. So Sam, why do we all keep doing it?
I don't know. Maybe it's the way we try and avoid our own uncomfortable emotions. Think about it. When your partner or your friend needs to change in some way from your perspective and they don't, doesn't that bring up some discomfort for you? Wouldn't it just be so much easier if they would just change and you wouldn't need to feel uncomfortable? So, Alanda, why doesn't it work, though, when we try and change people?
Well, I suppose because, in common with the rest of the world, you and I hate being told what to do.
Yeah.
Drive slower, eat more vegetables, hang your damn towel up. When someone stands over me in that way, I feel myself hardening inside and resisting. I feel myself wanting to defend myself and my behaviour, even if it was really good advice. I mean, really, we all know what to do. You know, eat less food if you want to be slimmer, meditate if you're stressed. And the point is, we don't do it. So it's obviously not more information or logic or reason that we need. It's something else.
Yeah. The other thing for me is when we're telling someone they need to change something, aren't we also giving them that subtle message that they're not good enough? That there's something about them that's not quite right. Sort of seeing them as a maths problem in need of solving. I know for myself, when I feel like I'm being seen in that way, it feels really off and I just want to shut down in the relationship.
I guess if we can't force other people to change, then what do we do? Samantha and I believe it's nothing more and nothing less than a beautiful act called acceptance. The most powerful relationships I have are with the people who accept me, despite knowing all about my bad bits. They see those bits as part of the rich tapestry of me. They accept me now, not at some distant point in the future after I've changed something or other, like a spotty dress.
People often think that acceptance means liking or condoning someone's behaviour, but it doesn't. It really just means seeing that clearly for how it is, and then you get to choose. You can change the way that you engage with that person, or you can choose to leave the situation. Sometimes acceptance means seeing a situation really clearly, and the option is to leave in order to keep yourself safe.
None of us is perfect, even me, and people are often surprised to discover that I used to smoke. Many years ago, a new friend saw me light a cigarette and she launched an outrage attack. "Are you insane? Don't you know that smoking is going to kill you? You're going to die of a heart attack." Naturally, I immediately jumped to my feet, stubbed out my cigarette and never smoked again. Hardly. Did I thank her for her caring yet unsolicited advice? Of course not. A little secret, like the rest of the Western world, I was actually quite aware of these facts about smoking by then. And despite the fact that I was thoroughly sick of smoking, my friend's advice didn't make a dent in my addiction. In fact, it actually made me feel like chain smoking. The thing that did help was when my younger brother came to me with tears in his eyes and said that he was really afraid that I was going to die if I kept smoking. But I was a smart person, he said, so he wondered, he was curious, why did I keep doing it? The fact was he accepted me along with my bad bits. The fact that he didn't ride me about my addiction actually gave me the space to think about, why did I smoke? Without having to react against someone else. And that place for open contemplation, that for me really was the great catalyst for change.
The acceptance that Alanda's talking about is something that we see as a common thread across all psychological therapies. The ability for the therapist to unconditionally accept the person in front of them, regardless of their behaviours, is what's essential for change. This dates back all the way to Carl Rogers with his unconditional approach in the 1940s. So if we think about acceptance, what we know is that research says unless this is part of the therapy process, no change is going to happen. It's essential.
But Sam, we've been seeing acceptance at work for eons, you know, the act of confession within Christian cultures, for instance.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe acceptance is at the heart of all helping relationships. What about for you guys out there? The relationships that meant a lot to you, did they possess these qualities? Openness, curiosity, trust. My favourite psychologist, Kelly Wilson, talks about seeing somebody as if they were a sunset. So that means appreciating them, good bits and all. This is in contrast to seeing somebody as a maths problem. And I wonder what it would be like for you guys in your relationships. What would it be like to see your child as a sunset or your partner as a sunset? Would it change the way you engage with them?
My favourite psychotherapist, Evan Yalom, chants as his mantra, it's the relationship that heals. It's the relationship that heals. I wonder if that rings a bell for anyone here. Has that ever operated in your life? Was it the advice or was it the embracing of you that helped you to shift or change?
That really resonates with me. One of the things I learnt early on in my career in drug and alcohol was that people are the experts of their own experience. When I started that job, I was 21. What the hell did I know about helping people overcome their substance and drugs and alcohol abuse? What I didn't do in that time that I worked there was tell people what they should do, boss them into it or play the psychologist. What was really necessary was accepting people for where they were at. That led to change.
And so before you pick up on the theme of acceptance and think, great, I've got a new strategy, a new magic trick that will, change the irritating people in my life forever, note this. Unfortunately, acceptance comes with a glitch. You can't accept in order to change others. So Samantha, how do we drag the world kicking and screaming a little bit closer to acceptance.
Oh no, not putting up with dotty dresses.
Yes, I think we have to start with ourselves, sorry. So how do we accept? So how do we accept? It could be something along the lines of feeling curious, but without judgment. Acceptance can also be as simple as recognising that your tastes and preferences are just that, yours. No one else has to like them. Are dotty dresses, good or evil? They're inherently neither. And the same with music, the same music that makes you dance, someone else might find abysmal. And this same principle continues on to our political leanings, sexual preferences and religious beliefs. Acceptance means that we can all be different and yet be equal.
So on a final note, we'd just like you all to take a moment to contemplate a world with a little bit more acceptance. Imagine acceptance in the schoolyard. Would bullying fade out? Would more acceptance in relationships start to challenge the ever-growing divorce statistics? And would you hold your partner's hand just that little bit more? And what about the world as a whole? Would things such as homophobia and racism all become things of the past? The great thing about this future is that it can start with you.